Neil Armstrong, Gene Cernan have both testified against commercial spaceflight and the way that you're developing it.
I was very sad to see that because those guys are, those guys are heroes of mine, so it's really tough. I wish they would come and visit and see the hardware that we're doing here. And I think that would change their mind.
They inspired you to do this, didn't they?
Yes.
And to see them casting stones in your direction.
It's difficult.
You put $90 billion, like 50 years worth of brakes into solar and wind, to Solyndra and Fisker and Tesla and Enner1. I mean, I had a friend who said, you don't just pick the winners and losers, you pick the losers.
When you had that third failure in a row, did you think, I need to pack this in?
Never.
Why not?
I don't ever give up. I mean, I'd have to be dead or completely incapacitated.
People who've been in the rocketry business for decades, who say about you that you don't know what you don't know.
Well, I suppose that's true of anyone. How can anyone know what they don't know?
When critics say you can't do this, your answer to them is,
we've done it.
When I was young, I didn't really know what I was going to do when I got older. People kept asking me, but then eventually I thought that the idea of inventing things would be really cool. I read a quote from Arthur C. Clarke, which said that a sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. And that's really true. If you go back, say 300 years, the things that we take for granted today you'd be burned at the stake for. Being able to fly, being able to see over long distances. So I thought, well, if I can do some of those things, basically if I can advance technology, then that's like magic, and that would be really cool. I think the biggest terrestrial problem we've got is sustainable energy, but the production and consumption of energy in a sustainable manner.
One of the most difficult choices I've ever faced in life was in 2008. I had two choices. I could put it all into one company, and then the other company would definitely die, or split it between the two companies. But if I split it between the two companies, then both might die. When you put your blood, sweat, and tears into creating something, or building something, it's like a child. Am I going to let one starve to death? I couldn't bring myself to do it, so I split the money between the two. Fortunately, thank goodness, they both came through. We're just barely able to scrape together enough parts and money to do the fourth launch. If that fourth launch had failed, we would have been dead. So multiple failures along the way. I tried very hard to get the right expertise in for SpaceX. I tried hard to find a great chief engineer for the rocket, but the good chief engineers wouldn't join, and the bad ones, well, there was no point in hiring them. So I ended up being chief engineer of the rocket. So if I could have found somebody better, then we would have maybe had less than 3 failures. After PayPal went public and they got bought by eBay in 2002, that actually freed up me and a bunch of other people to go and create companies. And I started debating between either solar, electric car, or space. I thought space was like the least likely to, nobody is going to be crazy enough to do space, so I better do space.
I mean, for me, it's simply this is something that is important to get done, and we should just keep doing it, or die trying. And I don't need a source of strength.
Give a lot of people hope, and a lot of people look up to you. Millions of people look up to you. If we think about young people in high school, maybe in college, if they want to try to do something big in this world, they want to really have a big positive impact, what advice would you give them?
Try to ingest as much information as you can. Try to learn a little bit about a lot of things. Be useful. Do things that are useful to your fellow human beings, to the world. It's very hard to be useful. Very hard. Man, search for meaning.
Life cannot just be about solving one miserable problem after another. That can't be the only thing. There need to be things that inspire you, that make you glad to wake up in the morning and be part of humanity.
I came to the conclusion that if we can advance the the knowledge of the world, if we can do things that expand the scope and scale of consciousness, then we're better able to ask the right questions and become more enlightened, and that's really the only way forward.
There's a whole generation coming through who seem really sad about the future. And what would you say to them?
Well, I think if you want the future to be good, you must make it so. Take action to make it good, and it will be.